natural numbers, the numbers which are used for counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. These counting numbers are called as natural numbers, and whole numbers, nothing but natural numbers along with 0 we call whole numbers, and integers are whole numbers along with the negative natural numbers we call them integers, that are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. These are whole numbers, and we write the negative of natural numbers -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 and so on. These are called as together, all the numbers are called as integers. So as we know that these are the numbers we have learned in previous classes. So all these numbers together we call as rational numbers. Like for example, if we take natural number and whole number and integer, these all the numbers together are called as rational numbers. That means a natural number 1, 2, 3, and these all the numbers are called as rational numbers because 1 is a rational number and 2 is also rational number, 3 is a rational number. All the natural numbers are called as rational numbers, and whole numbers are also called as rational numbers, and integers are also called as rational numbers. All together, the set of natural numbers and whole numbers and integers are called as rational numbers, and rational numbers are denoted by capital Q. So we have learned these all things, all the numbers in previous classes, that is natural and whole numbers. The 0 is added there, and whole integers that are negative values along with all the numbers. Negative values are -1, -2, -3 and -4 and so on. These all the numbers are called as integers. So these are the numbers we have discussed. So this together, the set of natural, whole and integers are known as rational numbers. Rational numbers are denoted by capital Q. So as we know that there is a standard form, there is a definition for a rational number. The rational number is nothing but the number which is in the form of P by Q, and where Q not equals to 0. That means you can take any rational number, you can take any fraction or any number than the fraction also, but the denominator that must not be equal to 0. Take any number as a fraction or without the fraction, any number, but the denominator of the part should not be equal to 0, and that's all the numbers. Let's take, for example, 1 by 2. This denominator is not equal to 0. For example, 3. If we take 3, and 3 is also a rational number because it is. If we take 3 by 1, there is also 3. So this in the form of P by Q. So rational 3, right? 1 4 minus 5 by 4. This is in the form of P by Q. If we write 0, 0 is a rational number because it's already we know that all the whole numbers are called as rational numbers. But how this is 0 is a rational number? We see that 0 by 1. If we write that is equal to 0 only, and that's the reason 0 by 1 is called as rational number, where this is P by Q, and where Q not equals to 0, Q not equals to 0, and which is in the denominator part, the Q, the value of Q is not equal to 0. That's the reason this is called rational number. Q should not be equal to 0, and the Q is in the denominator part, that should not be equal to 0. Numerator we can take it as 0. So these are all the numbers, fractions, without the fraction, a whole number, whole part, fraction or without the fraction. If you take any numbers other than the fraction along with the natural, whole and integers together are called as rational numbers. So what we understood is natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers along with the fractions. Any kind of fraction, either it is positive or negative, are called as rational numbers. Rational numbers are denoted by Q. So let's go to the next concept, that is standard form of a rational number. If we see standard form of a rational number, if we take any rational number, for example, minus 54 divided by 90. So this we need to represent in the form of standard form, a rational number, because this is a rational number because it is in the form of P by Q, Q not equals to 0. It is P divided by Q, and where Q not equals to 0. So standard form means the rational number which is in the numerator part and denominator part should not have any common factor, any common multiple, should not have any common multiple or common factor. It should be simplified, should be in the simplification form, and also if it has a negative value and the denominator part, negative sign in the denominator part, that we need to take it in the numerator, but it doesn't have the negative part in the denominator. If it has any negative sign, the denominator part, that we need to take to numerator part. If the two numbers in the numerator and the denominator part, but both are having the negative signs, then we need to simplify them, minus divided by minus, and we need to write it in the form of plus. So that is simplified, and the two things are simplified, and we say that the number is in the form of standard form of a rational number. So this is, look at here, it has a common factor of something 2. So in the numerator and denominator, let's simplify this 2. So let's write minus 54 divided by 90. If we take the 2, if we take factor of 2, then minus 27 into 2 is 54, and 45 into 2, and then we can cancel this 2 on both the numerator and denominator, and we'll be getting minus 27 by 45. So there is a common factor in this both still. So what is that? You know that is a 9. So minus 3 into 9 and 5 into 9. So let's see, there is a common factor of 9 into 9. So we can take out this 9 and cancel this both. And after cancellation we got minus 3 by 5. So now let's see these two numbers. It doesn't have any common factor. 3 and 5 doesn't have any common factor. Minus 3 by 5. So the denominator part, it doesn't have any negative sign. So the standard form of minus 54 by 90 is nothing but minus 3 by 5. So this is the standard form of a representing rational number. Let's go to the next concept, equivalent of rational numbers. Equivalent of rational numbers. If we take any one of the fraction, for example, minus 5 divided by 3, it's a rational number because it's in the form of P by Q, and Q not equals to 0. The numerator part is 5, denominator part is 3. So denominator is not equal to 0. So we call it rational number. So equivalent, what's the meaning of equivalent? We know that equivalent fractions, equivalent of rational numbers. We know what is the meaning of equivalent. That is equal to this, the number should be equal to that particular number. We call that is equivalent. So another number we need to take equal to that particular number, which is other number. Some other number we need to take it. So that are called equivalent numbers. Two numbers we need to compare. Then equivalent fraction, equivalent rational numbers will be getting. So minus 5 by 3. Want to find out the equivalent rational number? Let's try minus 5 by 3. So if we multiply with constant number, the numerator and denominator will be getting equivalent rational number. Like for example, this multiplied with 2 by 2. So we'll be getting a different rational number. It will be changed. So that is minus 10 divided by 6. So we got a different rational number, minus 10 by 6. It's also a rational number because the denominator is not equal to 0. So it's a different kind of rational number. But when we simplify this part with a common factor cancellation of 2, and we'll be getting minus 5 by 3, same as it is. So this is another form, equivalent number, equivalent rational number 2 is minus 5 by 3. Let's take some other minus 5 by 3 multiplied with 3, because we have taken 2, so multiplied with 3. So we'll be getting minus 15 divided by 9. So this is another kind equivalent to this same. So minus 10 by 6 minus 15 by 9. Let's take some other number. Minus 5 by 3 should be multiplied with 4. 4 by 4 is minus 20 divided by 12. So next example, that is minus 5 by 3 you take and multiply with 5 by 5. So that is minus 25 divided by 15. So what we got here, there are rational numbers which are equivalent to minus 5 by 3 are minus 10 by 6, minus 15 by 9, minus 20 by 12, minus 25 by 15. These all the numbers are called as equivalent for rational numbers 2, minus 5 by 3. So this is the concept of equivalent of rational numbers. So let's go to the next concept, that is representing rational numbers on the number line. Representing rational numbers on the number line. So, previous classes we have learned how to represent natural numbers on the number line and whole numbers on the number line and integers on the number line. The same way, the same form, let's take an integer line to represent a rational number on the number line. So if we take a rational number, any one of the rational numbers like minus 5 by 3, how to represent this minus 5 by 3 on the number line is, first we need to know that what kind of number it is. Either it is a negative number or a positive number. It's a negative number because it has negative symbol, negative sign, minus. So this is a negative number, negative rational numbers. So in case of negative rational number, we need to take the integer line. So we know what is the integer line. That is positive values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and negative values minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and minus 5, minus 6. These are negative numbers, and along with a 0, positive numbers and negative numbers along with 0 are called as